All right, welcome. Tonight we are talking about prospecting with the USANA online tools. How to use your online tools that USANA provides to better your prospecting efforts, automated in some ways. In my opinion, this is probably one of the more fun trainings we have. We've spent the last several months talking about all the different tools kind of in detail and how to use them. Now we're going to, and how to set them up. Now we're going to talk about how would you use this in your day-to-day life. So the tools that we're talking about obviously can be used in your introduction to new people, when you're managing leads, when you're following up with leads, and then closing the deal, finishing, getting them to enroll either as an associate or a preferred customer. And to kind of talk you through this, I've created a story of two fictional characters, Sally and Bob. Sally's a USANA associate. Bob's a person that Sally's going to meet. And I'm going to kind of talk you through the use case of how Sally uses her online tools to get Bob into the business. So for the introduction, which is kind of like where you're first meeting your lead for the first time, a lot of our tools can apply here as far as your distributor website that you've created, your e-cards. The Health and Freedom Solution is definitely a prospecting tool, great for introductions, webmail, and Media Center. Once you've created a lead and you're working, so once Sally's met Bob and she's working with Bob now, she's found that he's interested in what he's interested in, she would start using the follow-up assistant iPhone app. Again, as she's working with Bob, she can still use the website, e-cards, Health and Freedom Solution, webmail, and Media Center. So those do apply to both. Follow-up, again, when she's following up with Bob for the second, third, fourth time, really warming him up to USANA business. The e-cards, email, and Media Center are very powerful tools at that point, as he's getting more knowledgeable about it and just wants to know more about this or that, more about health, more about the business, more about successful people in the USANA business. And then obviously tools for closing, which would be your online enrollment and stuff like that. So I'm going to go ahead and take you into my little fictional story. So this is Bob. Bob loves to snow ski, does a lot of snow skiing. And Bob's up at the ski resort one day, and it just happens Sally's up at the ski resort that same day, and they share a chairlift. And if you've ever gone skiing, you know chairlift rides are typically slow. You normally have quite a few minutes, and if you're riding with someone you don't know, you either ignore them or you ask them questions like, what do you do? Well, Bob and Sally are on a chairlift, and Sally says, hey, I work for myself. I have this great job with USANA Health Sciences, and I get to live my lifestyle the way I choose. I get to live healthy, and I get to go skiing on days when other people have to go to the office. Well, the skiing on days other people have to go to the office and the healthy part are interesting to Bob, because Bob's a big-time skier, and Bob likes to eat healthy. So Sally sees an opportunity. This is a potential lead. And the first thing she does is take Bob's contact information. Now, if you have an iPhone, we have an iPhone app, and you can use that. There has been a question that was posted by Nancy. Does it work on the Android? We do not have an Android app right now, unfortunately. However, we do have a mobile presence. If you go to usana.com on a mobile device, you'll notice the website looks different and that DLM looks different on there. We will be adding follow-up assistant to that sometime in the future, so that you can either use the iPhone app or just use mobile web to do the same exact thing. And basically what you can do with the iPhone app, and what Sally does here, right here on the chairlift, is collect Bob's contact information. Now, I can't show you an iPhone on my desktop here because I don't have an emulator, but I do have some screenshots. So I'm going to show you those real fast. So as Sally takes down Bob's information, this is kind of what it looks like here, the iPhone app. This is the add contact. You notice up here it says follow-up, so we're in the follow-up assistant of the iPhone app. Took down Bob's name, his email address, his phone number. When she does this and hits done, it is now added to the follow-up, the same follow-up assistant that you have online. I'm going to show you a couple more screenshots here of what the iPhone app looks like real fast. So once she takes Bob's contact information, there he is. She hasn't quite followed up with him yet, but he's now in her hot list. If she wants to go view his information, looks just like this. And from this contact information page, she can hit this button right here that says the follow-up with e-card. So right from your iPhone, you can send an e-card. And there you go. She chooses an e-card, fills it in just like you would online, and right there on the chairlift, she's taken his information. He's now a hot lead for her, and she sent a follow-up email. He's very interested in health, so she shoots off the health advisor e-card, and next time he checks his phone or his computer, there's an email from Sally right there, and it's all recorded in her follow-up assistant on her desktop. All right, so that kind of kicks off, you know, the introduction per se between Sally and Bob. And from that point forward, Sally starts working this lead. And she has, like I said, a number of tools at her disposal to do so. In a potential scenario, right here I've got listed. So first she collects the contact information in the follow-up assistant. She could do that with the iPhone. She could do that with the web. If you have an iPad or some other tablet, they work very well with a lot of our tools. So you could pull up the follow-up assistant and enter his information that way. You could also just write down his information or send yourself an email or something from your mobile phone and add it into the follow-up assistant at another time. Another important thing, if you do not have business cards, it would probably be helpful. With a business card, you could have, Sally could have her website on there, her email address, give that to Bob. If Bob is kind of not so sure about giving Sally his contact information, the business card is still an option where Sally says, hey, think about it, go check out USANA.com. My website's right on this business card, and my phone number, and my email address. Go check it out. I've got some compelling information on there, and if you're interested, either call me, email me, or fill out the contact form on my website, and I'd be happy to tell you more about it. Also, check out the Health and Freedom Solution, which is built into my website. Assuming that Sally does have Bob's contact information, she can then send other related video e-cards. So Bob's into health. So we have a lot of e-cards and videos about health. She could find videos that seem to relate to Bob and send those off to Bob in an e-card, and she'll see in her follow-up assistant, I sent this to Bob on this date, and he opened it on this date. And then obviously, once you've done a few correspondence with Bob via your e-cards or your email, or he's visited your website, you'll still want to do your human interaction. I can't stress how important the human side of this business is, and many of you are experts in this, far more than myself, but I do get to work with a lot of you on a regular basis, and I do know that that human touch is still so important. So make sure you don't avoid calling them. Don't use the USANA tools as your only way of communicating with Bob. Make it a healthy part of your communication with Bob. Encourage Bob to check out the Health and Freedom Solution on your website. Again, USANA has put a ton of effort into this, the Health and Freedom Solution, and it's so valuable. And for those that it works, for those that use it, they found that it has a lot of important information in it. You might want to help Bob with it though, because sometimes it can be difficult to find on your website. You can help him by either sending him an e-card or actually taking him to your website, and talking to him and telling him it's right here on this link. on my website. Another important tool you have available to you that isn't used as much as it should be, in my opinion, is local events. A lot of your senior associates who have been doing this a while and know what they're doing can help you. And a lot of them put on local events. And if you go to the local events, the associate events section in USANA Today, you can find events near you, like Health and Freedom Solution, or Health and Freedom Fridays, or Thursdays, I'm sorry, and other types of events like that. Also, the XRCs and stuff are good places to get people that may be interested, but they're not completely sold yet. Once you get them to some of these events, they're really exciting. If you've never been to any of them, they're really exciting events. They get people pumped up, and it's going to help you in your prospecting to Bob. And then join Bob. If you're going to have him go to these events, join Bob at those local events. And again, you can find those events through the event tool. And then finally, you're going to enroll him. And he can either enroll himself or you can help him enroll. And it seems to be the favorite from a lot of associates that they actually go in and help Bob enroll, because it is a big process and an important step. It's the final step, and you want to make sure everything goes smooth. So that's basically just a human, a fictional story about how you would use these tools. What I wanted to do next is kind of show you what these tools look like real fast, in case you've not gotten into them very much. I also want to encourage you, all the tools I'm going to show you today, we've already had trainings on them, and you can watch the videos. They're posted on YouTube, or you can go to USANA Today under the live training link, and you can find these tutorials. Most of them are 10 to 30 minutes long on each of the individual tools. So that said, I'm going to walk into USANA.com and kind of talk you through the same scenario, except actually showing you the tools. So Sally meets Bob and enters in his information. So here's our, and it's on the iPhone. Enter it in, and voila, he's now on my follow-up assistant. Well, when Sally gets home, and let's assume she sends the e-card from there too. When Sally gets home, she goes into her follow-up assistant, and I've already played with this today, so he's not on my warm list anymore. But Bob, I think this is the one here. There's Bob right there. Entered him in on my iPhone, and he's in there. I did not send him an e-card in this case, but if you've watched my e-card training video, you'll see how the e-card section works down here. But basically, he's in there already. Now I can start putting in notes. Met Bob skiing. Bob loves health. And I can add in these notes, and anytime I come back, Bob is in there. Bob in this case was not in my hot list, my warm list I mean, so I can move him to my warm list. And he should be there now. Yep, there's Bob, so that I know when I come in every day, these are the people I want to work with. What's my current follow-up with Bob? There's my notes I've put in and all that. So as I'm working with Bob, I can later send him an e-card, or maybe I want to send him the Health and Freedom Solution e-card. So I select my market. I'm US English here, and I want to send to a friend. Just take a moment. Put in Bob's information. I'm going to actually put in my own email address, because that email address I put in for Bob may actually be somebody's email address. So, and or let's put something else. Hit send, and it's now sent. Because I didn't put in Bob's email address, he actually won't show. It won't show it here. If I put in this email address here, it would have shown. In fact, why don't we do this? Let's edit my contact information, change that to my email address so you can see how that looks. Okay, and see if it shows up now. No, but now if, oh, it's because I have another user that has the same email address. Anyways, you get the idea. The other things I can do, I can take Bob to my website. Let me go show you, and so I can take Bob into my website and the online presentations right here. So I can say, hey, let's go over to my website. Here's something you should check out here. This is my presentation here, and just using it like that. Oop. Okay. And then obviously we're going to use the webmail and Media Center Pro if there's videos. Like we said, Bob is interested in health. I have True Health videos here. He's very into nutrition. Go to my nutrition section. Healthy Cells, great video. I'm going to send that to him. Same way I sent the Health and Freedom Solution. So basically that's that, and as I'm doing these things, it's all being recorded in my follow-up assistant. And so I'm using my follow-up assistant to kind of track my interaction with Bob until the point that I ultimately enroll him in the USANA business. So if you guys have any questions right now, I would be happy to answer them. It can be about any of our systems. I don't have any questions posted right now, so please post them. I'll hold on for you and be happy to answer those once I get them. Again, ask me any question you want about any of our systems, and I'd be happy to help. Well, it looks like we may not have any questions at all, which is great. I mean, if you do have questions in the future, if I went kind of fast and you're still absorbing this, you can contact me anytime. My email address was on that first page there, right there. rick.wilson@us.usana.com. Feel free to contact me with any questions you might have, and if I don't know the answer, I know who does. I do have a question posted here. It looks like 2 questions coming in. Can you go to the local events and post webcasts being held, sent out, then send out e-cards for webcasts? Lori, I'm not sure. That's a good question. I've actually never been asked that before. Let's go have a look-see. So the associate events are right here. So in the event system, you have 2 types of events. We have the big company events. So your International Convention, XRCs, Asia Pacific Convention. But then this is the local events. It actually says it's under associate events, under contests and events. I went over this last week, how to create a local event. But basically, this is to find events, this first page. But if you wanted to add an event, like Lori is referring to, we just go in here. The type of event is listed under here. These are all the other types, and if your event isn't listed, it could be under other. What you could do, Lori, because we do have an event, you know, all the event information, what I would suggest is if it is a webcast, you put on here place would be something like webcast. And then under the comments, you could put your contact information. So if you're using GoToMeeting or any meeting or any of those, they're going to give you all the contact information. And you could copy that from an email that is typically sent to you into the comments section or the registration info section. And then when someone finds your event, they're going to see it. Also, you'll typically have a link to register for events that you make for webcasts. And those could be right here. I'm assuming, Lori, just because you're a veteran and you do this all the time, that you were asking the question more to get me to mention to everyone how to do this. So what Lori was talking about is that she probably uses the local events to broadcast her web events, and then she'll use so that people can find it under Find Local Events. And then she would use the e-cards to let everyone in her downline and everyone that she may be prospecting to right now know about her web event. Oh, and she also says under types of events. See, good thing Lori's here to set me straight. So under your add event, she's saying there is a web conference right there. Thank you, Lori. So you can set a web event as your event. And then Nancy has a question. Is there any summary or shortcut version of the Media Center videos? Hold on, I gotta scroll to see the rest of the question. Is there any summary or shortcut version of the Media Center videos to know which one to choose without watching every one of them? Excellent question, Nancy, and the answer is yes. So if we go to the Media Center, I'll show you a nifty little feature we put in here. So let's say Bob is interested in health and Sally is not necessarily an expert yet in the USANA health stuff. So up here at the very top, so there's all these videos for health or nutrition. I did health and nutrition, and you'll notice it says 19 here, 19 videos. Yet I only see 4. That's because at the top here we show we recommend and show all. So what USANA has done in creating these videos is we've said, okay, what are the most powerful videos for getting your message across? Which videos would probably have the most impact on Sally's prospecting to Bob? And so of the 19 videos under health/nutrition, there are 4 that USANA says, try these 4 first if you're not sure what to use. If Sally has a good idea what she wants, she can do show all, and she'll see all 19 videos on 2 pages here. And so maybe the under the microscope is something that's really important, or maybe the funny Ray needs energy video. So great question, Nancy. Thanks for asking. And then does anyone else have any questions? Well, it looks like we do not have any more questions, so I think we will probably wrap up there. Nancy is asking if USANA is making any new videos. The answer is yes. Typically, most of our new videos come out around the time of International Convention, so you will probably see the new videos as of convention, which is August. As far as which ones we're adding, which ones are being removed, that I don't know, and if I did know, I couldn't tell you, only because that's part of the big surprise and the excitement of International Convention. Otherwise, I'd love to tell you, because I like bragging about our awesome tools. So do look for new ones. Oh, I do have another question from Wayne. Do you require the Income Maximizer to use the tools you've demonstrated? The answer is yes to most of them. So we do have a few of our tools that have pay and free versions. So with the Follow-Up Assistant, that's pretty much a free tool. I think everyone has it. With the, I may be wrong on the Follow-Up Assistant. I only say it might be free because there's a free e-card, Media Center. So what you're looking at here is Media Center Pro. We have just a regular Media Center if you don't have Income Maximizer, and it has all the videos and it allows you to send videos to people, but it doesn't quite have the same tracking. It doesn't allow you to use the same e-cards. It is a little bit different. It's a little less feature rich. The iPhone app you can use without Income Maximizer. E-cards, you do have to have Income Maximizer. Web hosting, you do have to have Income Maximizer. Health and Freedom, you do not have to have Income Maximizer. There's a free and a pay version. The pay version integrates directly with e-cards and web hosting. And then webmail, you do have to have the Income Maximizer. So the answer is yes for some, no for others on that, Wayne. And again, excellent question. Thank you for asking. And if there's any more questions, I'd be more than happy to answer them. I'll just hold on a couple more minutes. I'm being asked, could we use BlackBerry too? I believe that the BlackBerry Storm and a few of the other ones have very good browsers now. The mobile version of USANA.com should work pretty good with the BlackBerry, in addition to the iPhone and Android devices. And Windows device. So I think those are the four biggies. You've got your iPhone, Android, Windows, and BlackBerry. So the mobile version should work for that. As far as an app for the BlackBerry, that I am not so sure that we're going to get. The iPhone app, I think, at least my plan in the near future, unless I'm overridden, is to eventually migrate all the technology that we have in the iPhone app to the mobile web version of the online system, so that we don't necessarily care what device you're using, and still give you all the same great feature functionality. The only disadvantage to the mobile version is that you will have to be you will have to have, phone internet access available to you when you use it. So that means if Sally's on the chairlift with Bob, there's going to have to be phone service for her to use the mobile version versus the app. Oh, and by the way, to get to the mobile version on your phone, and you can get to it from any phone, all you have to do is go to a browser on your BlackBerry or Windows, your Android or your iPhone, and just type in USANA.com, and it will take you right there. We will automatically detect that you are on a phone, and we'll show you that mobile version. It's very limited right now in what it has in it, but if there's a feature you really need to use that's not in there, if you scroll to the bottom, you'll see it says change to full version, and that will take you to the real USANA.com, where you can log into the real USANA today and use all those. A lot of modern phones, like your iPhones and Androids, are fast enough and smart enough to pull up the full website just fine. They're just a little bit small sometimes to use, but you can usually zoom in using the pinch feature or however your phone does zoom. All right, and we didn't get any more questions while I was going on about the mobile stuff, so I think we're probably wrapped up. So thank you everyone for joining us again. It was great to have you. Please join us next week. I love having you all here. We had a really good turnout tonight. Hopefully, if you guys liked kind of the scenario type thing we did tonight, the storytelling on how to use the tools, let me know, because we can do more of those. I know sometimes learning about the individual tools is important, but it tends to get stale after a while, perhaps. I'm more than happy to go more into the philosophical, how it gets used out in the world type thing, because we do actually have that information available to us through our analytics and stuff. We know how you're using these systems, and I'd love to share with you how each of these systems end up getting used. So again, thank you. Have a great evening, and I hope to see you all next weekend.
The organizer has ended the session, and this